So it snowed last night, and today it's pretty foggy, as you can see. Right there is where the lake is. I feel like this doesn't really give a fair representation of what winter in Gothenburg is like, because we usually never get this much snow, and it's been really cold now for almost a month, I think. So this is not actually what March in Gothenburg usually looks like, but I kinda like it. There's a little like man-made wall up there, it looks like. Let's check it out. Oh, it's so much harder walking in snow. So I just found those tracks, and I think that must be like wild boar. I kind of want to see where they lead, because there's no other tracks here, so I could probably follow them easily. Actually, they're probably long gone, and I think this place looks pretty good to make a fire. I'm still like following the tracks though, so when I go out like this, I pretty much always make a fire, or try to make a fire, and I figured I might show you how I go about making a fire. So what I try to do is I try to collect some of this like birch bark, and you need a bit of it, but this, I think it contains some sort of oil that lights really easily. Usually you can light this with even just like a spark, but this is not enough. So I'm gonna try to find a better tree. Okay, so this is a birch tree, and one of the things that you can do is just cut a little slice out. I don't like doing this, but I've heard that if you don't cut through the inner bark, then it doesn't harm the tree. It'll grow back. So this is what we're left with, and it's pretty small, but I think it'll work. So now we'll clean this place up and make room for a fire. So now I'll give you a little house tour. So what I just did was I went and cut a few branches of a spruce tree, and I put them down here, as like well, for insulation, so that when I sit there I won't sit straight on the ground and I won't get wet, and hopefully I won't get as cold, but it was pretty cold still sitting on there. And then here, right here, I'm gonna make the fire on this little like incline here. I think it's time to make a fire. This is like soaking wet, so I don't know, it'll be a good test. So I just did this, scraped some of the birch bark off, and it ended up in this like little bundle, and that will catch a spark really easily, so hopefully that'll work. And then I'm gonna use this stuff to kind of, once that catches, this will, I'll need to be really quick with this. And I'm using a fire steel which just shoots sparks. So let's try this. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to get as much stuff on there as possible so that it will warm up and dry out some of the wet stuff. And believe it or not, but that was actually the first go. I'm pretty happy. I actually did not think that was gonna work. But yeah, for now it's working, and I'm gonna try to keep this alive. So I think I'm going to show you 4 things that I always bring with me when I go out like this. The first thing is an axe. Feels like people look at you like you're crazy because you have an axe, but if you're getting firewood or something, that's pretty good. And I always bring like a metal cup as well, so that I can melt snow or something, make tea. Something else I always bring is a knife, the Swedish Mora knives, because they're, I don't know, it feels good. The last thing is a fire steel, because I always use this to make a fire. Like, I pretty much never use matches. I don't know, it's harder to make a fire with this, so I kind of like the idea of using this every time. Plus it works even if it's wet. So those are the 4 things I always bring with me when I go out on in my family we call them survival trips when I do this. So yeah, survival trips. I'm done and I'm ready to go home because it's really cold. I'm gonna pack up the stuff. Okay, let's go. So I always kind of like to try to make it look the way that it looked when I first got to the place. So if I make a fire or something, I try to leave it the way I found it. So that, because I hate when I get to some place and I want to make a fire or something and you see the trace of like charcoal everywhere, because then it feels less special. It sounds like it's raining, but I think it's just the snow melting from the trees. So now I have to get down to that place. So far, I think it's been a pretty good day. I even woke up at 5:40. But anyway, so far, good day and a great view. And a long walk back.